It's a big appeal now. This will be about height. Let's see what umpire Courtney has decided there. He's decided not out, but let's see why.
Extravagant movement back at the right-hander, unless Jacques Collis just picked the wrong line, but there you see it coming back at him off the seam, and that's hit him above the pad.
Pulled away. That'll be 4. Kirsten quickly onto that. That wasn't a bouncer by any manner of means.
Good positive shot from Gary Kirsten, as you said earlier. On a wicket like this, you can't afford to just get into your shell and play no shots at all. And that was just marginally short. He hits it well.
And again, Walsh stuck that one in just a little bit more, but Kirsten hit it even harder. Good shot.
Well, the first one he was a little bit cramped, but this one, the line just about on off stump, and he's got the room to really free his arms up. He cracks this one away. Superb timing. You could hear it off the bat. That was well timed. Too short again, and put away by Gary Kirsten. One of his favourite shots, and that races away to the boundary, back with a square.
Well, this has been the problem with Mclean. His inconsistency, short, wide, and to a left-hander, asking to be hit for 4, which it was.
How to take the bat away? It's going to run away probably for 4. In fact, does, because there's no third man down through the gully area, and Mclean will feel cheated there.
Inadvertent by Callis. Not the bat hitting the ball, but rather the reverse here, as he pulled the bat out of the way.
It's in the air and down through the area between gully and third slip and the vacant third man boundary. And Walsh is frustrated. Kirsten a bit fortunate.
Yes, but you can't afford to be strokeless. On a wicket like this, you've got to be positive. He gets enough bat on it. Not too much, because that would have taken it to the gully.
That's a good shot. Space down to the backward point boundary. And 4 more.
Well, Fellas gets the width and that he desires to play those kind of forceful shots off the back foot, but he hits it well.
Oops, that's hit something, and it's taken by Jacobs down the leg side. Now, they're claiming the catch, and umpire Courtney has sent him on his way. And Gary Kirsten, I think, got the nod from Ridley Jacobs and the men behind the wicket that he'd taken it cleanly, and it had brushed the glove or the bat on the way down the leg side. Kirsten out.
Well, the extra bounce, Gary Kirsten, a little bit unlucky, always unlucky when it's going down the leg side, but good bounce and a brilliant catch here from Jacobs. Again, doesn't take it back cleanly, but is able to just clutch it to his chest.
Well, he saw him take a great catch down the leg side at the Wanderers, but that, again, a wonderful piece of athletic movement. But Kirsten out, and then got boundaries and successive deliveries at the end of the previous Walsh over. Kirsten out, caught Ridley Jacobs down the leg side of Walsh for 29. South Africa now 52 for 2. So a big task for Darryl Cullinan, playing his 43rd test. It was short of 2,500 runs at 38.
Catch which has brought Courtney Walsh now above Ian Botham on the list of all-time wicket takers in Test. 384. He's leapfrogged Botham, and he's on this tour. He's gone past Marshall and Botham, and he's still got another 3, well, better part of 4 Test matches to go.
That's a superb shot. Tall man, and making the most of his height as he dispatches that through the covers for 4.
The most difficult stroke for a batsman, off the back foot, straight batted, and pounding it through the covers.
Well, Mervyn Dillon strikes, full delivery. Cullinan beaten for pace, if anything else, and the leg stump, I think, split in two.
Well, as I was saying, a very good start here by Dillon. He's been accurate, he's been probing, and sneaking one right onto the bat. Playing right over it, the Yorker length delivery on the leg stump. And not only playing over it, but playing outside of it as well. So a vital wicket just before lunch. South Africa 67 for 3 as Cullinan goes for 4.
The new batsman, Hansi Cronje, 29 years of age, just over 3,000 test runs at an average of just under 40. His highest, of course, way back in 92-93 when he first batted number 3 for South Africa here at this ground. That's a glove, maybe, or is it a shoulder? Now, yes. Well, he's held his shoulder. Umpire Coutson says that's out, so I'm not denying that the ball might not have hit the shoulder, but it might have hit something first. Certainly umpire Rudy Coutson thinks so. And suddenly the West Indies are very much part of this game. 20 minutes ago they were only 1 down, South Africa, and looking to get to lunch in that way. Now suddenly 4.
Another wicket for Courtney Walsh. Callis goes for 30. 2 wickets in successive overs, and South Africa 67 for 4.
1,600 runs in Test cricket, an average of 32, 2 centuries. Magnificent 100 against England at Lord's summer. Against English summer, off the mark straight away with 4 down through the slip cordon.
There were shouts of catch, but he kept it down and squirted it past Gully to get off the mark. Busy player, John D. Rhodes, just forward and just getting it down enough to pass the left hand of Shivnarayan Chanderpaul.
It's got past the backward point again. It'll race down that hill. Mervyn Dillon can't believe it. John T. Rhodes gets 4 more.
Well, surely they've got to have in a gully and a third slip and a full slip or a full slip here for Rhodes. Back he goes, outside edge found. He's forcing off the back foot.
Caught. John T. Rhodes has gone, caught in the slips, and South Africa lose an early wicket after the luncheon break, and they are now 5 down.
Well, half the batsmen out, only 89 on the board, but if I was South African, I wouldn't be too desperate at this stage. I think if you're West Indian and you don't bowl the team out for less than 150 on this wicket, you'll start to worry yourself. Good delivery, perfect channel, and Hooper takes a comfortable catch.
Very safe hands, Hooper. Rhodes gone for 17, 89 for 5. "25 years old. In the last test of the Wanderers, went past the 1,000 runs, also went to his 100 wickets, so only the second South African after Trevor Goddard to do that double. Yet to make 100 in Test match cricket. It's a lovely shot. This really is a magnificent shot by Shaun Pollock, and it's going to go for 4 runs. What a tremendously timed shot that was. Maybe the best shot of the day.
Certainly plays it on the up. Doesn't try and hit it too hard. His weight going forward.
This has swung away nicely. It'll be 4 runs. Got hold of that well.
This is a very good shot because it's not that short. And sure enough, it is angling in. But he gets across and just swivels on it.
A magnificent shot again by Shaun Pollock. He really does hit the ball so cleanly and times it so beautifully. Classic shot. ends the over 2 on a high note for South Africa. 117 for 5.
Oh, he's hit that beautifully. End of the over, 132 for 5. Oh, he's edged that away and is caught. Well, it's worked for him this time, Ambrose. Stuart Williams takes the catch, and Pollock is out. A crucial wicket. He was looking very good, and he's out for 28. Ambrose is the man who gets him.
Well, that's the reason he goes around the wicket, even though he isn't happy with it. He has a plan in view, and angled across Pollock, got him to fish at it, and Stuart Williams doesn't drop him. And that's an important breakthrough, and how happy Ambrose is at seeing not only the wicket, but also his strategy succeed. Pollock goes for 28, 138 for 6.
Just 22, already developing as a Test cricketer, and got a half century here in the third Test against Pakistan. Oh. Deceived Boucher, I think, with the slow ball there.
Also, the movement had him squaring up. Use of the seam. See that deviation away from the right-handed batsman.
Good running. If he gets in, of course, and he just might not be there running. It's gone on for, so it's either 5 or out. I've got a horrible feeling it just might be the latter.
Well, the West Indians certainly think that it's out. They've all celebrated. Brilliant piece of fielding. One-handed pick up by Raifa, I think it is. Yes, that's right. For one-handed pick-up, and Hansi Cronje, I think, is going to be found wanting here.
Yeah, you don't need to have a look at that more than once. You look at it from the stump cam, it's going to be further out. Way out, I'm afraid. Hansi Cronje run out for 21, and the score 142 for 7. That's Sim Cox averaging nearly 30. A little bit of improvisation, sitting on the back foot and just hitting through the line. You can see some quite funny cricket in the next half hour.
Yeah, we just watch his body language now. Even when he's running between the wickets, he's almost trying to egg on the West Indians and trying to get them to lose their cool, bowling a few short deliveries.
That's well hit. We know that he plays that shot very well, does young Boucher. We saw him hooking and pulling against the West Indies at Buffalo Park in East London, which is a little way down the road from Port Elizabeth, and he played that very well. Now he swings it down to fine leg, and it's going to get 4 more. It was fine enough, and he'd hit it well enough for it to go so quickly to the boundary that fine leg couldn't get round to cut it off.
And it's Franklin Rose who's on the field, down at fine leg, but this is bad bowling by Mclean. He would have come across Boucher in the previous match, as you mentioned, at East London. Very strong puller and cutter of the ball, and that's a wayward delivery down the leg side, just helped on its way, and 2 boundaries. So this partnership now really growing.
He's caught now, though. That was a little too steep for him, and he just guided it into the very safe hands of one of the best slip fielders in the world, Carl Hooper, and Boucher, having just hit two splendid boundaries of Nixon Mclean, gives the tall fast bowler his first wicket of the innings, and Boucher gone for 17. South Africa 175 for 8.
Good steep lift this time, and over the off stump, not pounded in the pitch and going down the leg side to allow the batsman to go on the back foot and pull, and choking Boucher. So Mclean gets the wicket, and Boucher goes at a crucial period, just when the partnership was beginning to prosper. He goes for 17. Mclean's first wicket, 175 for 8.
Allan Donald playing in his 49th Test match. He's only scored 434 runs. Best of 33 against Zimbabwe. He's got one first-class 50 to his credit. He's been given a good lecture by Pat Simcox as to what his role should be. Well, that'll go for 4.
Significant the number of runs that have come down in that area today. There is no fourth slip. Big gap between third and gully. And out of a score of 180, I would estimate 60 have come in that area down to third man. No ball. Allan Donald down in his haunches, but not too discomforted by that. It was ill-directed, and in addition it gives the South Africans a run.
Yes, but he's letting his intentions, or making his intentions quite clear. He's after him.
Fine stroke. Good retort by Donald, and it could go all the way. In fact, it does. That's a fine shot by Donald. And South Africa get closer to the psychologically important total of 200.
Experience showing on Donald's part. Although he gets into position very early back and across for the short pitch delivery, he's aware that he's just been softened up with 2 bounces, and more than likely the next one would be of a fuller length, and he's ready to come forward and takes full advantage of it. Well, a really, really valuable.
In goes Courtney Walsh. Ooh, very much a loosener, and Simcox had to scamper. Donald always wanted the run. He was quick to set off as he pushed it out into the covers. It was very much a loosener from Walsh. You see, he sets off straight away. The moment of hesitation from Simcox, and, well, he might have been found wanting. Indeed, he would have been if there had been a direct hit. But there wasn't, so the partnership now 1 short of 50. Very well hit off the back foot there by Pat Simcox, and this might just win the race to the boundary. It does in the end. Fielder got a hand to it, but couldn't flick it back, and it rolled over the boundary rope. A very good shot indeed from Pat Simcox, and that brings up the 50 partnership. These are terribly valuable runs that Simcox and Donald are putting on in what is a low-scoring first innings because of the very conducive situation to the fast bowlers. Is that the one? Now they, well, that was an extraordinary appeal, really. It wasn't very convincing to start with. Then they all started to converge on each other, as much as to say, well, we've got him caught behind. And then when they realized that the batsman wasn't going to walk, then suddenly there was a more concerted suggestion that he was out. Now let's see if we can pick up what that hit. It's interesting that the batsman actually felt his arm, I think, at one stage. Donald, if we just watch Donald. I don't think that did come too close to the arm, quite frankly. To me, it looked as though the only thing it could have hit was the bat. And there was certainly a noise, and it's got Courtney Walsh suitably annoyed. And he really let that one go at Allan Donald. Well, that's going to be 4 byes, right over the wicket-keeper's head. There were 1 or 2 deliveries yesterday that very nearly got over Ridley Jacobs' head. He did very well to leap up high and prevent them from going for 4, but this is a wild delivery.
And it goes down debited against Jacobs' byes, but there's no way he was going to get to it. And, well, really, West Indies just continuing from where they left off yesterday.
Well, he moved across too far that time, and the middle stump is out of the ground. And Pat Simcox's innings has ended. But what a valuable one it has been for South Africa. A fighting effort from the 38-year-old Patrick Simcox.
And most significantly, to a ball on the stumps, well up. Came right across his wicket, as he has done throughout the innings. A couple of leg before appeals would have been quite close when he came across the wicket, but he really has batted well once more, in for just over 2 hours for his 36. Now Pat Simcox goes, and South Africa are 241 for 9.
David Terbucker is the new batsman. Now, he hung around at the Wanderers with Pat Simcox and did very well too, to stay with Simcox, who went on to make 25 there. Now he replaces Simcox at the wicket. There's a mix-up here, and there could be a run out. Oh, if he'd have hit, Donald would have been stranded. Awful mix-up. Yes, no, wait, come, no, stay. And eventually Donald had given up, really, making his ground. He just had a hope and pray that Chanderpaul was not going to hit.
Just wonder why no one was behind the stumps. Didn't seem to be alert enough. There's Walsh just trying to get back. Perhaps he only realized that the batsmen were in a state of confusion too late. And he just let the ball go, and it really wasn't that far away.
Well, he's got this one away rather well. He's going to get a couple of runs too, back with a square on the offside. So he was alert to the possibility of the fuller one.
Problem is, it wasn't on the stumps. Had the room and played an elegant looking square drive, knee bent. Beautifully played.
That's out. Caught slip by Harper, and eventually Donald goes on 33, which equals his highest score. In fact, his highest score in Test cricket will still remain 33 not out. Immediately Donald runs off the field to prepare himself for the job he's really there to do. Well bowled by Walsh, steep bounce, and Donald angles the bat to Carl Hooper at slip. And the West Indian team stand back to allow Courtney Walsh to lead them off. Another fantastic bowling performance from him, albeit that every one of those fast bowlers and the West Indian captain will be a little disappointed they didn't capitalise on 89 for 5 and allowed South Africa to put up a really reasonable first innings score of 245.
Ramu, chai.
Chai, double diamond.
मैंने बनाई।
आपने?
बिल्कुल।
दूध कितना डाला?
2 कप।
2 कप। अच्छा।
2 चम्मच।
तो फिर चाय पत्ती भी?
चाय 2 कप चम्मच।
2 चम्मच? 2 चम्मच नहीं, डंकन्स डबल डायमंड है। जरा सी चाय असर दिखाए।
और एक प्लान है।
डबल डायमंड चाय फ्रॉम डंकन।
गुस्सा आता है, बहुत गुस्सा। कल रात टीवी पे दिल है के काट दी, कैच कैच कैच।
सभी टीवी प्रसारित पिक्चर दिखाते हैं कुछ हिस्सा काट कर। अब सैमसंग विजन प्लस टेक्नोलॉजी दिखाए पूरी पिक्चर बिना काटे।
गुस्सा, अब कैसा गुस्सा?
The champions of India. The victories of India. Sports India. Sunday on Star Sports.
Tuesday on ESPN. Home cricket action brings you highlights of the unofficial second test. India A versus West Indies A. All the intensity of a test match with new talent out to impress. Home cricket action, Tuesday on ESPN.
Allan Donald from the commentary box end. It's just an indication of the sort of bounce that he's likely to get, and that was just a loosener.
Well, he's going to be all fired up from that innings. I don't think anyone likes to be bowled short at, in particular someone like him. And he's just got to be careful now that he remembers his pedigree and bowls accordingly. Controlled aggression, I think, is going to be the watchword.
Controlled aggression, 100% right. 241 wickets at 22s. Direction's going to be important with a new ball. They won't want the West Indies to leave too many alone in order to get used to the pace and the bounce of the pitch early on. They want to draw them into shots and have them learn that way. In the air, oh, put down. Jonty Rhodes is the man who's gone to slip. He had to go to his right, but I do think he got there. Unfamiliar place for Rhodes to be fielding, and the end of an over that might have produced a wicket. West Indies, 0 for 0.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed, but 2 vicious deliveries from Donald to end that over.
Have one more look at the last ball of the last over. Off the gloves, balloons in the air. Oh, did he get there?
I think he got there. I don't think he necessarily got a full hand underneath the ball.
Out, caught mid-off. Flamboyant shot from Lambert. Good catch from Cronier. Caught that beautifully. That was quite extraordinary test cricket with a brand new ball up front. Lambert caught mid-off. There's a way to go.
Well, he played a few shots like this at the Wanderers and got away with it, hitting them in the gaps, but this time he picks out the fielder from here at mid-off, and maybe quite good captaincy to have a mid-off this early in the innings when the wicket normally lends itself to lots of slips.
Good catch from Cronier. They went very crisply to him. And there's the dreaded Walt Disney character, making his way off to the bottom left-hand corner. Lambert out for 0. The West Indies, having maybe been 0 for 2, they are 0 for 1. Oh, what a way to start. Hasn't really timed it as well as I first thought. But, he just saw it as a half volley.
Certainly made his intentions clear right from the start.
At the end of the over. It's 2-1.
How's that for a pedigree?
Not 30 years of age yet. 56 test matches. 4,500 runs, just above. Record, world record, highest score of 375, going past the great Sir Garfield Sobers and averaging over 50. 10 centuries. Pulled away, but over to Brugger's head for 6.
Well, what a shot this is it's a high bouncer, I would say even above shoulder height, and he manages to get a full bat on it. Not as if it was a top edge. And only because it was so high did it travel high and spend a long time in the air. Otherwise, well, luckily he's hit that very well.
Well, he slashes at this one. It's going to go for 4 runs. There is a third man there, but that went very quickly and too fine to be cut off. Of annoyed Donald to a degree.
He holds his head, but so do the West Indies fast bowlers on several occasions. It's that type of pitch. Not the best of shots. The foot movement wasn't there, just the bat a long way away from the body.
And now he smashes it a couple of bounces into the cover boundary. Stand and deliver.
Really going after it again. Bat somewhere away from the body, but he saw the opportunity. He saw a wide virtual half volley, not quite, but hitting through the line.
Is he caught? He is indeed. That's the one they wanted, the South Africans. Allan Donald once again has got Brian Lara. He's caught by colours at slip. And the West Indian captain on his way for 4. And the West Indies 31 for 2.
This is a very good delivery from Pollock. Lifted sharply from Donald, correction, lifted sharply, angled across him, and close enough to Lara. Didn't handle it well, and a good two-handed catch up to his left at first slip. Good delivery. Lara goes.
Yes, correction again. It wasn't Cullis, it was Cullinan who took the catch, and a fine catch too. So Lara gone for 4, West Indies 31 for 2.
Carl Hooper, vastly experienced, and just under 4,000 runs. Average of 35. His talent probably suggests it should be a little more than that. Oh, that's gone down to third man for 4 runs. Well, Stuart Williams had no idea where that was going.
I don't think the slip fielders did either. He's whipping that away through the onside. The slip fielders might have just relaxed a little bit because that's the direction that the ball should have gone. Came off the back of the bat, and it was always too high. Rhodes knew where it was, but way over his head.
Oh, he's pulled that away, and it'll be 4 to deep mid-wicket. Beautifully played.
Very quick onto it, Carl Hooper. As soon as there was just a little bit of indifference in length, just a little bit too short, swivels on that front foot and hits it firmly through mid-wicket. Good shot.
Well, I suppose with that type of shot, he does have a sweet sense of timing, Stuart Williams. He does everything so easily. And Lawrence Rowe did as well. But as much potential as Stuart Williams has and has had throughout his career, there are a host of people in the Caribbean who will consider it sacrilege for really anyone to be fared with Lawrence Rowe. Certainly at the height of his career, at the start of his career, which was the height, and he then went downhill. And he's got it away. Had room and also had width. And the fine stroke by Hooper for a boundary.
It's too short and wide. But he still has to put it away between the gap, or in the gap. Otherwise there's going to be a let off for the bowler.
Bowled him off the inside edge. So an over in which he really deserved and worked for that wicket, and the West Indies lose a wicket just before the break, with Williams dragging it back on. He's gone for 37, and it's 58 for 3.
It's a perfect length in the perfect channel just outside that off stump. Probably a little bit of movement back towards the right-hander, and a little bit of a loose shot playing away from his body. Only succeeds in dragging it on. Stuart Williams, another useful innings, but he'll be disappointed at getting out in the 30s. You're never quite in on this wicket, and it's 58 now for 3.
New batsman is Shivnarayan Chanderpaul, the first of several left-handers in succession in this West Indies order. One has already gone, Brian Lara. Well, the West Indies need a bit of hope here now. 59 for 3. Just managed to cart it over the head of mid-wicket. Didn't come off the middle of the bat. A full toss. Deserved the shot, but not quite off the middle, and gets him off the mark.
Yes, Pat Simcox shaking his head. Not a good delivery from him. High full toss. And Chanderpaul actually mishit it to a certain extent, and but got enough bat on it to clear the infield.
Bowled him. De Brugge strikes again. West Indies, as they did in the first Test match, have lost 2 vital wickets just before a break. Williams first, and now Carl Hooper, both to David de Brugge.
Well, Carl Hooper has looked so solid in his innings, and probably, as far as the batsmen in this match are concerned, the most solid of the lot. Loses his wicket and just playing a little bit away from his body, that front leg not getting out to the pitch of the ball. And between bat and pad, he's off stump. He's sent cartwheeling towards the slips.
And as Hooper walks off, everyone else walks off behind him, because that's lunch, with Hooper going for 15. And in reply to South Africa's 245, the West Indies have declined to 63 for 4 at the interval.
Players now making their way back onto the field. Hansi Cronje with the ball. And now an awful lot on the shoulders of Floyd Reefer in picture. He's the new man in, and still that over in progress. Just 3 Test matches, so not a lot of experience. Averaging 12. Interesting to see if Cronje keeps de Brugge going, or whether he brings Donald back straight after lunch. That could well be out, and is. Shepherd, no hesitation. Pollock managing to straighten the ball back on the left-hander, and the West Indies rocking now at 64 for 5.
Crucial blow. Chanderpaul, really the batsman the West Indies would have relied on for solidity, and that ball coming back into him. The only question there would have been height. It came back into him. In fact, Pollock had got him in a similar fashion in Johannesburg, leg before, and Chanderpaul goes for only 4, and the West Indies lose a wicket right after the interval, having lost 2 before. 64 for 5.
Pollock having just struck by dismissing Chanderpaul. Ridley Jacobs, 31 years of age, only his 2nd Test match. Again, inexperience with the bats. The wonderful, wonderful performance with the gloves that he's shown, both in the first and 2nd Tests here in South Africa. Nice tucked away, Kirsten in pursuit under the helmet.
And the end of the over at 67 for 5.
Out! Now that was a terrific delivery. Well, David Braga has taken 3 wickets in this innings, and he's hit the woodwork on all 3 occasions.
Well, there's absolutely nothing a batsman can do about a ball like this. Wyndham Jacobs will go back and feel, well, this was an impossible ball to play. Left-hander, angled across him and then cutting back and hitting the off stump. Perhaps you might say that he should have covered the wicket, and if anything, given the umpire the decision to make. He wasn't really in behind it, but he would have expected the ball just to have gone past him outside the off stump, over the wicket, angled across him and then cutting back. West Indies in further trouble. 67 for 6. Jacobs goes for 1.
Nixon Mclean making his way to the crease now. Another left-hander. 25 years of age, his 6th match. Played very nicely in the first Test match at the Wanderers against South Africa, adding a very useful few runs down the order there, 28 of them to himself.
Whipped away by Mclean. That's ruined the figures just a little bit. And into the stand for 6. Well, there you go, take that.
Well, he's well settled in now. He had 1 ball to settle in, and then bang. What a shot. Tremendous shot, not dissimilar to one which Ridley Jacobs played at the Wanderers off Allan Donald. Picked it up beautifully, middle of the bat, well back into the stand.
Heave that away through mid-wicket. Not quite such a convincing shot, but certainly effective. And 2 more to Mclean to close the over down at 75 for 6. Out, caught behind, another fairly rash shot, one has to say. I know when runs are hard to come by, when the ball is presented to you that you feel you can hit for 4, you've got to try to do it. I'll be interested to look at the footwork here.
Well, he had left the earlier ones alone. Now he saw one which was virtually half volley, but again wide, and just the thin edge through to Boucher. So the West Indies now decline further. 75 for 7, only the bowlers left as Reefer comes off without scoring.
Test matches, averaging 13, over 1,000 runs. He has got a Test match 50, 53 against Australia.
Here's Mclean.
Mclean goes over the top, and I think that's the attitude that he's going to take right now. That's the second 6 he's hit in his innings, and when he hits them, they stay hit.
He is a very strong man, and he gained a reputation in England this year for his whirlwind hitting. We've seen an example of it here twice now. 1 over square leg, and that's a mighty blow straight down the ground off a bowler who is as accurate and as controlled and getting as much help from the pitch as Braga is. Now Ambrose gets in the mood. Long chase here. Outfield quite quick, in fact, and what a wonderful piece of acrobatic fielding. That's Gary Kirsten, is it? Herschel Gibbs. Looked as if he pulled it back in time. That is a brilliant save.
Just can't see where his right foot is at the moment. That's when his hand's still on the ball. Just released it now. And where's his right foot when he releases? That's the point that is difficult to tell. Might just be adjudicated 4. It is. 4 runs being signalled by Rudy Goodson.
90 for 7. And we might just see Mclean will swing here as well. Here it goes, and that has gone out of St George's Park. Massive blow. Well, I would think that the message is going to go out to the South African bowlers, no more drive balls for Nixon Mclean, but Shaun Pollock has dropped it a little bit short, and he's hit it equally as well. No more drive balls, no more pull balls either. Oh, he's hit that, and he's hit that into the stands. Good heavens, that is an enormous blow. Donald won't like that much.
No, he doesn't, and he's had a few words to say about it, but this is clean hitting. And I get the feeling here, Mclean guessing correctly that it's going to be another short ball, and he's onto it in a flash, but he hits it superbly. That's gone at least 20 meters over the boundary.
And he's heaved that away, and he's caught at mid-wicket. Cornier and Donald has the final say. Mclean goes, and the West Indies 103 now for 8.
He makes pretty good contact here, and he must consider himself a little bit unlucky picking out Hansie Cornier at mid-wicket, who's the only fielder on the leg side, saving the single. And if you're West Indian, certainly I'm sure you'd be guilty, or you'd be forgiven in thinking that you were unlucky, as opposed to the South African tail-enders who had their fair share of luck. 103 now for 8.
Number 10, Mervyn Dillon. And, well, not a great record. 21 against India and Barbados last season. Good heavens. There's Dillon advancing down the wicket and slapping Pollock contemptuously over his head for 4.
Well, he's got this pretty high up on the bat as well, and it's still been, or still hit with sufficient power to get it to the boundary. But they're using my policy of get them before they get you, that's for sure.
He's hammered that away, and an attempt at mid-on. It'll go down to the boundary. Braga couldn't quite get a hand to it. And 4 more, 112 for 8.
Well, I suppose it's entertaining stuff, no matter how you look at it. But Braga gets across there. Maybe on another day it would have stuck. No, it clears him quite comfortably.
Simcox has been taken out of the gully. He's been moved to cover, and Cornier is moving Braga around to mid-wicket, and Cornier himself goes to mid-on. Bit of protection there, and quite deep as well for those mishits. Oh, that's in the air and out. Slow ball, clever bowling. Dillon is out. And the West Indies 112 for 9.
Well, completely deceived by the slow ball. It's not easy when you're looking to attack and to hit as hard as you can of every delivery, and then when the slow ball gets thrown at you, sometimes it's just too late to change your mind. And then you always wish as you walk towards the dressing room, why don't you just follow through? Maybe at least maybe you would have plopped it in the gap somewhere. But West Indies 112 for 9 now. Mervyn Dillon goes 9 of only 6 balls.
Courtney Walsh, not a great record. There we go. He's third highest in the all-time wicket takers, but he leads in another statistic, 30 ducks. He's just kept that one out. Now he came in because Merv Dillon was deceived by a fine piece of bowling by Pollock.
Yeah, you'll see there he's halfway through the shot, the ball still hasn't arrived, and he then decides he better stop on it. Dodgy Rhodes, well, he won't get many easier than that.
Well, he's hit that a long way. Don't think it's going to go all the way, is it? Not quite. I think it might have bounced just short.
There's 4 runs for Ambrose. Good hit because you can see him setting himself for the head to the... It was the slow ball. He wasn't quite there. He had to almost delay the shot for a fraction. But unlike Mclean, who stopped on the shot, he follows through. He hits it well enough to get it away. 1 bounce or 2 bounces and into the fence.
Yes and no. Oh, well, Rhodes. Yes, you can look again. It is Rhodes.
Yes, and he's done this on a couple of occasions. He's tried to pick up, almost turning his back on the ball, pick it up and then being able to throw back at the keeper's end. And that's not easy to do because you take your eye off it for a fraction of a second.
I don't know if you noticed, Trevor, but Courtney Walsh called for a new bat during the drinks break. Now that's optimism.
Well, he's not going to have any time to use it because Curtly Ambrose has stepped away from his stumps again and had another swing, and his middle stump has been knocked out of the ground. And yet again, Shaun Pollock picks up 5 wickets. Another splendid bowling performance, and the West Indies are all out for 121.
Slow ball did him. Threw the shot much too early, and you might say wasn't quite in the correct position. The ball was onto the middle stump, and the West Indies are all out for 121. They've had a number of low scores recently, but we have to go back quite a few years to find one quite as low as this.
Tremendous bowling from the South Africans, taking full advantage of the situation. Donald 2 for 33, and there's Pollock again with another 5-wicket haul, 5 for 43 this time. And young David Tobruka, who nearly never played in the test because of injury problems, well, he bowled so well to take 3 for 27, those 2 very important wickets just before lunch, and Cullis and Simcox hardly needed.
After losing 1-0 to Mallorca last week, Real Betis will be looking to capitalize on their home ground advantage when they come up against Atletico Madrid. We bring you the matchup live on Star Sports.
It was our anniversary, so I made the tea. The tricky part was the rose. Then came the music. She loves Mozart. I woke her up. Your aroma's nice, she said. I know. The flavor's perfect. Thanks. Tastes wonderful. I took a bow. Vikram, this is not our everyday cup of Darjeeling. Correct, I said. Because, honey, today's not every day. Rungly at 100% Darjeeling. We know it because we grow it.
गुस्सा आता है, बहुत गुस्सा। कल रात टीवी पे दिल है के काट दी, कैच।
सभी टीवी प्रसारित पिक्चर दिखाते हैं कुछ हिस्सा काट कर। अब सैमसंग विजन प्लस टेक्नोलॉजी दिखाए पूरी पिक्चर बिना काटे।
गुस्सा? अब कैसा गुस्सा?
For the latest program information, visit our website, espnstar.com.
electrifying racing action from Motorsports Asia. Wednesday on ESPN.
Wasn't for the 124-run lead on the first innings. South Africa would be in a critical position. Now, no ball called and very well dispatched by Hansi Cronje. So that means 5 runs from that delivery. 1 for the no ball, which is a new innovation, and then the 4 runs off the bat.
That's a good shot. Nicely timed. That'll race away. The fielder won't catch that up. That's nicely played by Cullinan. And the end of the over. 29 now for 3. I beg your pardon. Make that 30. This is pulled away. There's a man down there, but he's not going to get there. Is it 4 or is it 6? Mr. Shepherd says 1, 2, 3, 6.
Said this before, but Hansi Cronje is at his most effective when he's prepared to take on the faster men and take the attack to them. He hits the ball so well.
That might be out. I heard 2 noises. Umpire Shepherd just, I think, gives him a little nod and says, on your way. Walsh strikes again, and Cullinan goes, and the 4th wicket falls.
Well, that's what happens when you're trying to cover, not nicking it towards the slips. You sometimes get a little bit too far across, and you end up bat padding it straight to that short leg.
There you saw the inside edge, then onto the flat of the pad. Below the pad it would have gone down, but above the roll it has to go up in the air. Clayton Lambert bounces. So Cullinan out for 10. Disappointing test match for him. That's a good shot. That'll go all the way. That'll give Rhodes a lot of confidence. Back foot, solid bat, and 4.
Chandapol, brilliant piece of fielding. He wants the replay, and for the second time in the match, Hansi Cronje will have an anxious wait for the 3rd umpire to have a look at the television replay. Not too sure about that one, says Chandapol. And I would say that he's just out there. Brilliant piece of fielding by Chandapol. In the first innings, it was a direct hit from Rifo which got the South African captain, and this time he's gone again on a direct hit. So brilliant piece of fielding by Chandapol, and for the second time in the match, Hansi Cronje is run out at a crucial moment.
Rhodes has got that one away, down to deep backward square for 4 runs. Fraction short, Merv Dillon. It's displaying the confidence to get that one down to the boundary for 4.
That's nicely put away. 4 runs, backward a square on the offside.
A bit of width, and there's no turn out there for the spinners, or very little at this stage. The ball just skidding on.
Beautifully driven through the covers, 4 runs.
Well, he's not 100% in position here as he comes forward. A little bit late, almost hitting it with his front foot still in the air.
Down the wicket. You nominated it, Dave. and he's hit this quite magnificently. One bounce 4.
He does hit the spinner so sweetly straight. And with no one in that vicinity and no turn to speak of, the temptation is just too great.
Well, that's a good shot, because Hooper gave it a little bit more air. It wasn't that short, and Jonty Rhodes made enough room for himself to crash it away to the fence for the square on the offside. And so an expensive over from Hooper, 117 for 5.
Well, as soon as you say that, it's gone for 6. Short, and well, we dare not repeat it too often, but every time it's been short, the batsman has just laid back on the back foot and pulled and hooked and cut. So they come back for 2, and these 2 batsmen also have recognized the players in the West Indies side. There are a few of them whose throwing has become weakened by shoulders, sore shoulders, and that's the throw from Mclean. Jonty Rhodes 50, one of the most popular cricketers in South Africa, and a half-century gets applause from all around the ground, and a very important innings by him as well. Came in when South Africa were faltering in their second innings, and a very fine innings, 20 scoring strokes, very positive innings as usual, a 6 and 7 fours, and South Africa now up to 140 for 5.
The end of the over, 143 for 5.
But just before 6:30, the umpires consulting their light meters and deciding that play couldn't continue, so 11 overs short of the requirement today, but certainly a better day's play than yesterday. So that's the South African second innings. A sorry story until Rhodes and Pollock. Kirsten 2, Gibbs 4 and Callis 3, Cullinan out for 10, and then Cornier run out for the second time in this test match. That is quite unusual. And Rhodes, well, he took 66 balls to get his 50. Pollock is 40 not out, and they put on 90 so far. There it is, confirmation of the best partnership of the match, and perhaps the match-turning partnership as well. Bowling Ambrose and Walsh. Well, again, Ambrose 2 for 23, considering he's nursing a groin injury. A magnificent effort. Walsh 2 for 45. Only turned to Nixon Mclean late on. Dillon was a little bit inconsistent, and Carl Hooper's off breaks were punished, certainly by Rhodes. That's the match situation then. South Africa leading 267 runs ahead going into the third day of this test match. It's been quite a day here. 17 wickets have fallen in all, and then at the end of it, a partnership of 90 South Africa and the West Indies. The test has produced much drama and not much delight for batsmen out in the middle, because the bowlers have been dominating on a pitch that has made batting very, very difficult. Overnight, after the second day, South Africa in their second innings were 143 for 5, and they lost 4 wickets early on. 47 for 4 and 53 for 5 before Shaun Pollock and Jonty Rhodes got together and steadied the ship with a very, very impressive partnership of 90 unbroken going into the third day, with Rhodes the only player so far to get a half-century in this match, and Pollock 40 not out. Walsh and Ambrose remain the real threat for the West Indies, as well as Mclean and Dillon have bowled. They haven't really provided the backup necessary to be really effective. Walsh and Ambrose have a lot of work to do in this match. So that's the situation. South Africa 267 runs ahead going into the third day of this test match. Perhaps batting might be a little easier today. I'm not quite certain about that, but it is really a very, very even and tight contest, despite the fact that South Africa 267 ahead, because one cannot discount the talents of the likes of Hooper and Lara batting last year. Let's pick up the action on this third day with Curtly Ambrose bowling for the Park Drive end to Shaun Pollock.
Pulled straight to mid-on and out. A little injudicious, I would suggest. Pollock livid with himself, and the first wicket of the morning falls.
The stroke of an all-rounder as opposed to a real specialist batsman who would perhaps know to just give himself a little bit more time to get his eye in and start again fresh on the new day. But Shaun Pollock perishes really. As a result, South Africa 145 for 6. Pollock another good 42 though.
Mark Boucher, wicket-keeper batsman from Border. Boucher's only scored 174 runs in his last 13 test innings. Make that 175. But he got off to a real flyer. He got 350s in, I would think, his first 5 or 6 innings. That could be out. It is. Hooper takes the catch. Boucher's run of well, I'll say run of luck, run of form in Test cricket with the bats continues. Just the one run to his name, and South Africa have not got off to a very good start on the third day of this Test match.
Well, you can see he's almost batting like a man who is in good form in the nets, and he's playing a little too freely too early on in his innings. First half an hour, you've just got to get in right behind it and be far more determined. 151 now for 7, and Mark Boucher goes for 1.
Be really interested to see what fields are set for Simcox from ball 1. I would suggest orthodox would be a good idea. Ambrose. No ball, and I think that might just have been a glove down the leg side and a good catch from Ridley Jacobs.
Another brilliant effort there from Ridley Jacobs, and there's no question that that would have been a dismissal had umpire Shepherd not called no ball. Now just watch it show. If his glove was no bad, no, I think it's off the gloves. And just look at that, that's a great effort. Did he catch it? Or did it pop out?
You know, I think he caught it. I don't know whether it might have been side pad. Come on! Another no ball. Oh, and a run out if he hits, which he doesn't. Well, run out off a no ball would have been a real beauty.
Well, I suspect what's happening here is that Jonty Rhodes is trying to get Pat Simcox as much off the strike as possible early in his innings, and allowing him time to settle. But I think Pat Simcox slips a little bit in his indecision.
After all that, he's off the mark. Ah, that was the plan. If I miss it, you're running. Well.
Now that infuriates the keeper. And look how upset he is. He's standing there. It now counts as a bye against him. Jonty Rhodes did that early on in his career for Natal a lot of times when we played against Eastern Province.
That's a good shot. Send the Paul chasing, but I don't think he's going to get there now. He gives it up. Super timing from Rhodes.
The on drive, not the easiest shot in the world to play. But Jonty Rhodes has played this over from Walsh pretty well. He's got a slower, fuller delivery to deal with, and he got a bouncer, and then the leg stump half volley. He's still in the position to take full advantage of it.
Bowled him. Well, that was not a very good shot at all from Jonty Rhodes. Right across the line, a wild swing at it, and he missed it, and he's been bowled.
Well, just an absolute lapse in concentration from Rhodes. It seemed to be premeditated that he was going to pull that ball no matter where it pitched, and it really was not all that short. Just the under edge onto it, dragged it back into his stumps. The wrong shot to the wrong ball, and from South Africa's point of view, the wrong result. Jonty Rhodes goes for 64. They're 173 for 8.
So Allan Donald arrives once again to join Pat Simcox. Appeal for LBW. No, says umpire Rudy Kutsen. And let's see why. I think there might have been some bat there. That's why. Because he doesn't signal a leg by. So Donald is off the mark. 177 for 8. And Ambrose goes round the wicket to Simcox, and Simcox gets onto that one in fine style. He really hammered that to the boundary, just backward a square. And so that's 5 runs, 1 for the no ball, and the 4 runs from it.
Way over that crease, Ambrose once again. Certainly isn't comfortable around the wicket. And a bad delivery. And well played right over the top of it, pulling it down. Plenty of time to do so. They seem to have made up their minds they're going to pitch it in short to Simcox. He really doesn't mind that too much, taking some blows on the body in the first innings.
He'll be caught this time. Well, at last, one of those short pitch deliveries has paid off against Simcox. He's fended off a great many of them, but this one was just too much for him to handle, and he popped it up into the waiting hands of Clayton Lambert at forward short leg.
Very good lifter, came up very steeply indeed, and bowled from over the wicket. Whereas we're around the wicket, Simcox got inside the line of those, couldn't get inside the line of that one, and a very good delivery from Ambrose. 6 for him now, and South Africa 183 for 9.
Tabruka is the new batsman, and he's shown that he can hang around. Mostly it's been to support somebody like Simcox, but now it's the 2 tail-enders, the 2 fast bowlers out there on their own.
They're going to take one, it could be trouble. Oh. Well, Lambert throwing at the stumps of the strikers, and Tabruka would have been well short.
It's amazing what kind of consternation 2 fast men can do bowling bounces. No one really wants to be facing.
Yes, Donald quite keen to get down the far side. You can see Tabruka wasn't that keen. And even the confusion between Ambrose and Lambert, I mean, you can see how far out Tabruka would have been. Edge and over the slip cordon. And it'll bring Tabruka 2.
Extra bounce against from Ambrose, and if you're not right behind it, you're going to be nicking them.
Well, I wonder how much... There's Hooper. Well, yes, he wasn't at full stretch, but he knew it was just out of reach.
Just clipping the shoulder of the bat and flying high over slips. You can almost see Allan Donald.
Yeah.
Weakening by the minute. He's starting to have enough of all of this.
Well, he was quite lucid last night talking about facing the 2 quick bowlers. He's shaking his head there, you can see. And he said he actually had a few words with Nixon Mclean at the crease yesterday. He didn't miss leg stump by much. He got angry. You know, he said, why am I out here taking all this punishment? Why should I be doing this? Not blaming anyone necessarily, but just he got angry with it, and I'm sure that sooner or later, as you've suggested, the wear and tear gets the better of you. Oh, that's well played. Superb Yorker, and very well kept out, and not only that, he got a run for it. It means he's got the strike at the beginning of the next over. 188 for 9. Oh, that's hit him on the head.
Dead ball, dead ball.
Now, well, although it's the helmet, it's going to be, those ears are going to be ringing.
Now that is of concern, which is bound to happen sooner or later, I'm afraid, in this sort of atmosphere and in this sort of area. Hang around, Alan. Don't be in too much of a hurry. Now here it is. He ducks, but not quick enough, and crack. And doesn't that make a noise, Dave? Allan Donald seems to be all right. Now I wonder what effect this will have on him. Certainly with the bat, I think I have a reasonable idea what sort of effect it will have on him with the ball.
What is Ambrose bowled now? Another one?
Yes, and that's well ducked. Well, he's whacked that over mid-off, and we'll get 4 runs for it. And that's a perfect illustration of what Dave was saying just now.
Highlanders have that knack. Almost as if they swing the bat in the line of the stumps, and so if you bowl on the stumps, they're going to hit it.
Disappearing down to long off.
But that's well hit.
Oh, well played. And there's the straight Yorker, and he's kept that one out.
Well bowled and well played. The Yorker just swinging in slightly to the right-hander, which makes it a little bit more difficult to keep out than normal, but he's in a good position there. See his foot back and across onto off stump.
Oh, he's gone for the hook there. Gloved it away. Hit the glove and safe, but still prepared to play the shot here. Shows it's in preference to getting hit. Oh, well played.
Well, you've got 2 options really. Either you get inside it and you try and swing it away down the leg side like Allan Donald is doing now, or you take the less brave route of stepping to the offside, or to the away from the stumps to the leg side and trying to hit it through the offside.
Oh, that's neatly played. Next to Braga to 3. Quite neatly done.
Yeah, just opening the face, guiding it down to third man.
Walsh is going to go around the wicket now to Donald. And he's bowled him. Oopsie. Perfect Yorker. And the innings finally ended. Donald leaves an angry young man, I think. And Walsh picks up his 3rd wicket. And South Africa are 195 all out.
Well, I think good tactics from Walsh, knowing Allan Donald was moving inside the deliveries. He goes round the wicket, creates the angle, able to bowl him round his legs. And he gets so far across, it actually knocks the off stump out the ground. Allan Donald, though, frustrating innings as far as the West Indies is concerned. 11, a good effort from him. But a fantastic effort by both Ambrose and Walsh.
So that's the South African scorecard. Rhodes and Pollock really played a vital role there. And once again, Pat Simcox down the order, and the support of Donald as well. Very, very important. 195, perhaps a little less than they were hoping for. I think South Africa would have liked to bat it for a lot longer. The partnerships, 92 between Pollock and Rhodes, absolutely crucial. And those tail-end partnerships also pretty important, 22 and down the order 10 and 11, that's important. The bowling figures, well, dominated as they have been in the series so far. Ambrose and Walsh quite superb. Ambrose 6 for 51 in 19 and Walsh 3 for 58. Dillon, Hooper and Mclean, well, they weren't even called upon on this third day. That's the match situation. The West Indies needing 320 for victory, plenty of time, and a pitch that, well, might get a little bit easier to bat on, so South Africa have got still a lot of work to do. Let's pick it up with the two opening batsmen. Clayton Lambert this time has Shivnarine Chanderpaul as his opening partner.
Tucked away by Lambert, and the West Indies begin their pursuit of 320 to win this test match. 300 plus in the last innings of a test match is always a big ask, Tony, least of all on a pitch which has helped the bowlers very much. It's going to take some good, positive batting from more than just one player for the West Indies to win this game.
I don't know whether I should bring the encouraging news first or the bad one from a West Indian point of view second. Just go through some details after this ball. In fact, the last time the West Indies were given a target in a test match was at the Queen's Park Oval. Well, the good news first. At the Queen's Park Oval against England, when they had 282 to win, and they did win. They got it there and won by 3 wickets, with Carl Hooper making 94 not out. Now the bad news. The 112 in the first innings was the 7th time since the final test, since the 4th test match in Adelaide against Australia in 1997, that the West Indies have been dismissed for under 160, and that's not so long ago. 130 against Australia, then came back to the West Indies, were out for 140 in Bridgetown against India, 147 against Sri Lanka in St. Vincent.
That's a quick delivery. Whatever's wrong with that ball, Allan Donald was just showing it to umpire Shepherd just now. It certainly hasn't lost any pace, put it that way.
Showing no after effects of that blow to the helmet either. Almost a return blow to Lambert's helmet.
That's out. An awkward looking shot from Clayton Lambert. It was almost as if he didn't want to hook it, did want to hook it. He got somewhere halfway between the two, but you could hear the little nick. Donald strikes, his headache has gone, and Boucher catches Lambert for the first breakthrough in this second innings.
An atrocious shot by Lambert. Never in any position. Just before 320 to win. Well, he'll hang his head as he comes in, as he should. So breakthrough already. Lambert goes for 2 and the West Indies are 3 for 1.
Has pushed Chanderpaul up front. He's still out there, not out. Jacobs just averaging 19 in Test cricket. It's hardly a pedigree because he's only just started his Test match career, this being his second Test. This was the dismissal of Lambert. A really awkward looking flick. It's a nondescript shot, really.
Oh, a lovely shot through the covers, and that's 4 runs.
Chanderpaul played a very watchful innings in Johannesburg, and so far today he showed a good watchful technique, but he manages to pounce on the overpitched half volley from Allan Donald. as you say, sweetly driven through the covers.
All about timing, using the pace of the delivery from Donald.
Over.
15 for 1. Got this one through between gully and point. Herschel gives chase. They'll get 2 runs.
Shaun Pollock coming around the wicket now to the left-hander. And immediately you try and play square of the wicket as a left-hander to someone bowling around the wicket at you. You run the risk of getting the inside edge or the bottom edge onto the stumps if you try and play too square.
There'll be 2 here. It's played just backward of square. Look for the second here, but wary of the arm of a South African fast bowler, and rightly so. Beautiful return from Tobruk.
Allan Donald also coming around the wicket now to the left-handers.
Well, there are 3 slips waiting, plus the wicketkeeper, for that sort of a flash to get the nick.
Yes, almost giving himself a little bit of room. Risky shot.
Oh, it's just wide of third slip and will go for 4. Onto Rhodes, diving there.
Good delivery from Donald, bit of bounce outside that off stump. Not back and across, Jonty Rhodes flying through the air, just can't get a hand on it.
I was about to say that I'm a little surprised that there isn't a man in the gully. But Donald and Hansa Cornier have opted for 2 close catching men on the onside, one at forward short leg and one at backward short leg. And as I talk, the backward short leg, Pat Simcox, goes across into the gully area, just where that one flew. Oh, that was good fielding there by Herschel Gibbs. That batsman was home.
Good throwing from Gibbs.
So 25 for 1. This is an on drive, and Tobruk gives up the chase. And that's 4 runs.
Both Allan Donald and Shaun Pollock haven't, to my mind, been as good as they were before lunch. Shaun Pollock struggling with some no balls, and here he over pitches. Jacobs probably aiming to hit it a lot straighter than it eventually went, but still well timed.
He's doing quite a good job as a makeshift number 3. Slower one from Shaun Pollock. Well spotted though by Jacobs. Got quite a good reputation in the West Indies in first-class cricket. Remember, this is his first Test series, but he's made over 1,500 runs in first-class cricket. He's got 500s and an average of over 41, so he's no monkey with a bat at all.
And what he has shown has been very good application. He got some useful runs at the Wanderers Test. He's fighting hard here now. And I saw him also bat in the Commonwealth Games in Malaysia, and where he played on some atrocious wickets for batting, spinning miles, and he again grafted it out and got some useful runs for his country.
Edged again once more, eludes Jonty Rhodes at slip, now in a second slip position, and it goes down to the vacant third man boundary.
Shaun Pollock cursing his luck.
And it's in the air, but it's going to get over the head of Hansi Cronje, and they will get one run. Now that was an unusual lash out from Chanderpaul.
That's a let-off for Chanderpaul. He's trying to pull it through mid-wicket, but he's too late on the shot. That's often caused by the different angle that the bowler is bowling. Allan Donald, remember, coming around the wicket now to the left-hander. And the left-hander not accustomed to facing, or he certainly faces a lot less of the quicker men bowling around the wicket at him, cramping him for style.
That's well played. Cut very hard indeed, but he'll only get one run as a reward for a good shot, because Tabruka is out there at third man. And he's fairly square for Jacobs. Interesting that Simcox goes into a fourth slip position for Jacobs.
Replacing Shaun Pollock at the duck pond end is Jacques Callis. He's fast developing into a very, very useful all-rounder. Not like that, he won't get very far though. Clattered away first ball.
Good shot from Jacobs. Bad ball, but not every bad ball is put away as efficiently as this. Right on top of it and finding the gap between square cover and extra cover.
Oh, that could be close. That's out. Trapping Jacobs in the crease, and Jacques Callis gets a wicket in his first over.
Curtly Jacobs really being sent in at number 3 to do a job here for the West Indies. Not his usual position, very unaccustomed to being there, but he's fought on and just in behind that and on the crease. Umpire Kurtzin had a long look. Right arm bowler over the wicket. Consideration, did the ball pitch outside the leg stump? Would it have passed the off? And in the end he said no, it would have hit the stumps. Jacobs goes for 22, West Indies 40 for 2.
गुस्सा आता है, बहुत गुस्सा। कल रात टीवी पे दिल है के काट दी, कैच।
सभी टीवी प्रसारित पिक्चर दिखाते हैं कुछ हिस्सा काट कर। अब सैमसंग विजन प्लस टेक्नोलॉजी दिखाए पूरी पिक्चर बिना काटे।
गुस्सा? अब कैसा गुस्सा?
It was our anniversary, so I made the tea. The tricky part was the rose. Then came the music. She loves Mozart. I woke her up. Your aroma's nice, she said. I know. The flavor's perfect. Thanks. Tastes wonderful. I took a bow. Vikram, this is not our everyday cup of Darjeeling. Correct, I said. Because, honey, today's not every day. Rungly at 100% Darjeeling. We know it because we grow it.
You have to try and bowl them out. You can't just sit back and wait for them to make a mistake. So I think we try and play our strengths, which is our wickets, knowing our wickets a little bit better than them.
Some say India will struggle to find form so far from home. But with this team, who needs home-side advantage? India's tour of New Zealand. The first test begins Friday, live and exclusive on Star Sports. This cricket broadcast is brought to you by Samsung. Challenge the limits.
Celebration in the stands for the South African supporters as Carl Hooper has come to the wicket. Huge experience. And the average of 39, just shy of 4,000 runs in his 125 innings.
Forcing shot off the back foot. Only one, I think. Cronje on it now. Turns and throws. And here's a mess up and a run out. Goodbye, Mr. Hooper. Well, crazy stuff. But all credit to Cronje. You could see it unfolding almost as if in slow motion in front of us. You could see Hooper looking to go for two. Chanderpaul had never ever considered it, and they ended up at the same end of the pitch.
Well, unbelievable. Almost as if Hooper wasn't really watching his partner at all. He's watching the ball, and he just keeps going, and he's in fact jogging through as if there was not a care in the world. The problem is Chanderpaul's still at his end.
So Hooper run out for 8, West Indies 54 for 3. Brian Lara comes to the crease. 56 test matches, not yet 30 years of age, and the world record holder. 375. He's beating the great cigar field sober's 374. This is pulled away, not that effectively, but it just clears Gary Kirsten at backward square. Chanderpaul the batsman, Lara at non-striker's end. The run-out took place off.
Well, you see Gary Kirsten at a conventional square leg just next to the umpire.
That might be out. What a good catch. That's an outstanding catch from Jacques Cullis off the bowling of Pollock. And Chanderpaul goes. So the West Indies plunged into more trouble.
Pollock gets it up there, a dangerous delivery, the wide half volley, enticing the batsman to drive at the ball. Slight away movement through the air. Chanderpaul's feet not quite in position. But Jacques Cullis, tremendous catch low to his left.
Excellent catching.
Good reward for Jacques Cullis because he's swung the ball both ways in the previous over to Brian Lara and now to Chanderpaul. I say Cullis, I mean Pollock.
So, Shivnarine Chanderpaul joins the others in the dressing room. He's out for 16. Court Cullis bowled Pollock, and the West Indies 57 for 4. Floyd Reefer to the crease. Just 3 matches. There's a lot of inexperienced batsmen in this Test series for the West Indies. High score of 29. Going to go for 4 and does. It's a good shot. I thought he hadn't timed it as nicely as he would have liked to have done.
Yes, and he's a relieved man now. Gets off the pair with a boundary.
The West Indians like to hook. 3 wickets in last 3 test matches. Useful. That's not a good idea. And one silly run out already. And the end of the over, 61 for 4. That's well played, but it might be run out. Oh, over the top. See how close that was. Kirsten, the fielder.
Brian Lara anxious to get off the mark. finally does so. Gary Kirsten is not the quickest, you'll forgive me for saying that, over the first few meters, but he anticipates well in the field.
Braga in action now. Is he going to launch himself? A little bit late.
Nice shot from Reefer. He knows that Braga is lurking for the hook, which is played in the air. And see how nicely he gets on top of it.
That was a quick delivery.
Well, and a very good bouncer too, because it gets up high enough, and the batsman does well to pull out of the shot, because if you're going to hook at those, it's going to be very difficult to control, and all you can really do is sky it either to fine leg or just get a brush to the keeper.
Oh, he's edged it, and he's caught. Straightforward, orthodox slip catch taken by Darryl Cullinan at first slip. Reefer just pushing forward, Donald finding the outside edge, straight to Cullinan, and the West Indies 68 for 5.
Well, this is a real depressing situation for the West Indies. Reefer really not doing enough there with that coverage of the ball. Donald comes back, new bowler on, and not reaching out far enough. Straightforward edge, he goes for 9. Another West Indies failure, 68 for 5.
The new batsman is the fast bowler Nixon Mclean, who really put the sword to the South African bowlers in the first innings, hitting 4 sixes as he raced to 30 from just 12 balls. Playing in only his 6th test match.
5 left.
And that 31 that he made in the first innings, his best effort so far in Test cricket. It was very entertaining stuff, I must say. Well, it's in the air. First ball past Gary Kirsten, who's in there at short leg. And he's coming back for a second, and I'm sure he's run out. Hansi Cronje, a lovely throw over the stumps to wicketkeeper Boucher, and Nixon Mclean has run out, and oh my goodness me, how unnecessary, how ridiculous. In terrible trouble, and that is the last thing they could afford to happen.
Well, it all just typifies the West Indian attitude, the West Indian mood, the West Indian indiscipline that we have seen in this match, and the fact that we have seen for much of the tour, way out, not even in the frame. Coming back for the second, and Mclean goes for 1, the second run out of the innings, and the West Indies are folding ignominiously here. They're 69 for 6.
NBA Inside Stuff each week on Star Sports.
NBA Inside Stuff, Friday on Star Sports.
It was our anniversary, so I made the tea. The tricky part was the rose. Then came the music. She loves Mozart. I woke her up. Your aroma's nice, she said. I know. The flavor's perfect. Thanks. Tastes wonderful. I took a bow. Vikram, this is not our everyday cup of Darjeeling. Correct, I said. Because, honey, today's not every day. Rungli at 100% Darjeeling. We know it because we grow it.
गुस्सा आता है, बहुत गुस्सा। कल रात टीवी पे दिल है के
काट दी, कैच। सभी टीवी प्रसारित पिक्चर दिखाते हैं कुछ हिस्सा काट कर। अब सैमसंग विजन प्लस टेक्नोलॉजी दिखाए पूरी पिक्चर बिना काटे।
गुस्सा? अब कैसा गुस्सा?
Wherever a ball is bowled, wherever a wicket falls, we've got the inside story. Get Inside Cricket. Friday on Star Sports. Tuesday on ESPN. Inside Cricket is brought to you by Samsung. Challenge the limits.
Well, Stuart Williams, I'm sure, was hoping that he would have the rest of today and at night at least to try and recover from the flu that he feels coming on. But now he's got a tremendous job to do. He's gone past 1,000 runs in Test match cricket, but that average of 24.6 is far too low. Just the 1 century, the 128 against India. It wasn't a catch. People in the crowd think it might have been. It was hit hard into the ground, and then Donald just got a fingertip to it. Took enough sting off it, so they only get the single. Williams has 1. Lara has 1.
2 left.
Umpire Rudy Courtney is hard to please when it comes to LBWs. And he will feel that the batsman got in reasonable enough stride there.
It's going to take a great deal of motivation to lift those players up before the Boxing Day Test match in Durban.
This has got its way through. 3 men after it. John Two Rhodes inevitably wins the race, and they thought of a third there. Unfortunately, Lara sent Williams back.
Well, I think Pat Simcox there is really very optimistic in getting into a chase, and he gives it up in the end. You two can have it.
But it's typical of the man that he was prepared at 38 to take on the youngsters for a while anyway. This is a good shot here from Stuart Williams. Just a bit short and wide from Donald, and he takes full advantage of it, cracks it away, 4 to square for 4.
Right on top of it and stroking it away. Williams may not be feeling too well, but how often we've seen cricketers come out under the weather, either with an injury or with an illness. Tends to make them concentrate even more. Well, sometimes.
They always do it to you, don't they? The moment you say something like that, then Williams will just stand anchored there to the crease and just flay with the bat. Fortunately, he missed it. He played some quite nice shots in the first innings when he opened the batting. Hooked Allan Donald for 6. Smashed him next ball through the covers in the air for 4. But he's dropped. Dropped by Pat Simcox at gully.
Another slack shot from a West Indian batsman. Lifting ball, trying to force it away. No way he could have done that. Outside edge, regulation gully catch, and it popped out. Really doesn't seem now as if the West Indies even want to make a fight of it.
Surprised that Pat Simcox tried to catch that one-handed. Peel for LBW, up goes the finger. Pat Simcox will be relieved. The drop catch didn't matter. Very next door, Allan Donald traps Williams, LBW. And the West Indies are 77 for 7.
Just shuffling across, right across, and in fact back and right in front of that middle stump. no problem for umpire Shepherd. Williams goes for 8. Donald gets another wicket, and the West Indies are closer to defeat. South Africa closer to victory and a 2-0 lead in the series, 77 for 7.
'82nd Test match, 1,200 runs, but the average not so good. Just the 53 against Australia. Well, that's Curtly Ambrose's response. Almost baseball style, he smashes it down the ground for 4. And ends the over at 82 for 7. Beautiful shot by Brian Lara through the covers. What a thrilling sight that was.
Well, way to go. This will be a bit of a test for young David Tabruka. Keep his head about him and just stick with what he knows best. Up in the air, but over mid-on. In fact, very nearly over the rope. And the end of the over. So West Indies advance towards the 100 mark. 98 now for 7. Good shot. That'll be 4. Rhodes gives it up.
This is a lovely shot from Lara. Hit in front of square on the offside.
Pulled away, 4 more. Lara giving the South African champion bowler just a little bit of tap. Well, well, well. How's that? And it's 6.
Well, that is the shot of the match, really. 50 partnership comes with an incredible shot in front of square.
Miscue, caught mid-on. Donald wins the battle in the end. Took stump stick from Brian Lara. 4 fours I can think of, plus a 6. And then the miscue off the oil hole, caught mid-on. The 8th wicket goes down.
Well, full marks to Donald, a little bit of extra pace, rushing onto Brian Lara, a little bit higher as well. Difficult to control the hook from there, just gets it almost the bottom of the bat to it. Easy catch for Kirsten. Brian Lara was through his Allan Donald. He's pleased.
He's rubbed it in a little bit then too, but that was a cameo of an innings. We saw just what has built this man's reputation. Some fantastic shots. 6 fours in his 39, but at the end of the day, caught Kirsten, bowled Donald. West Indies won 32 for 8. Mervyn Dillon. It's his 4th game. Nothing to speak of. Test 21 against India in Bridgetown. Out. Spreads the stumps. Pollock gets just another wicket. And the West Indies are now 9 down. Strangely enough, in the 38th over. It was in the 38th over that their first innings finished at 121.
If you miss, I hit. And that's Shaun Pollock's 6th wicket of the innings. New swing, Nixon Mclean, and Mervyn Dillon rather, gone for 9.
So, as Mervyn Dillon leaves the field, bowled by Pollock, with the West Indies 141 for 9, I'll hand over to Tony Cozier to take you through to the end of the match.
Last man comes in, Courtney Walsh. Celebrations already having started in the stands. In the air, the match is over, or is it? He's given him out, that's it. South Africa have won a comprehensive victory. The West Indies have been dismissed for 141 in their second innings, having folded for 121 in their first. And it has been a massive and emphatic victory for the South African team, and I use the word team in its best sense, in that this has been a real team effort from the South Africans, and I'm afraid one can't say the same thing for the West Indies.
I think you're 100% correct, Tony. Just the out cricket has been good. The bowling, the batting, everyone batted with application right down to number 11. And overall, it has paid dividends, and South Africa have won easily.
Well, there's confirmation of the pitiful West Indies' second innings. 141 all out. And 38 overs and 2 deliveries. They batted for just 75 overs in total in this match. And Jacobs, 22, pushed into the number 3 position. Chanderpaul had to open, and then Williams came in down the order. He's ill. Lara, though, blasted away, showed us what he could do and can do maybe later in the series. No partnerships really aside from that 8th wicket, which was too late, I'm afraid. 55 between Lara and Ambrose. And they needed some solid partnerships up the order rather than down that end. This is where it all happened, though. Donald was quite superb now. He's just 2 wickets short of 250 in Test cricket, having a remarkable year. The Pollock at 2 for 46 in 13. Callison to Braga, not really needed. This is how it ended. 178-run victory for South Africa.